What is up? We are live and back for another amazing webinar. I love doing these. Roger and Chris from Life Insurance Academy. What is up, my friends? You guys are amazing.
Hey, what's going on? We're excited to be here.
What is up, dude? Excited to hear from you guys.
Dude, we want to be on the tour bus. Are you kidding me?
Get in here. Come on.
We want to be on the Cody Askins tour bus. That's right. The
That's
Sprinter
it.
van. It's custom. You got workstations in there and Wi-Fi and all kinds of gear.
Man,
What's
dude.
going
Look
on?
at this, man. Look at this. I got a little table to work. Got a little bed to sleep in if we drive overnight. I got the teams hanging out and videoing me at the moment.
Nice.
You know,
Wow.
right?
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yep, we are literally, those that are jumping in, okay, you're getting a live look inside our new Mercedes Sprinter that is wrapped, that we are taking to 40 cities to come hang out with you more. And we have two of my favorite people in the whole world, phenomenal freaking trainers, by the way.
Oh, thank you, brother.
At selling life insurance any way possible, but especially over the phone and virtual nowadays, which is something huge. Because of my internet, I'm going to give it over to you guys, man. The top life insurance podcast in the world. Please welcome from Life Insurance Academy, Chris Ball and Roger Short. Gentlemen, please take it away. Give them a virtual round of applause in chat. Give them an 8 if you're excited to hear from these two today.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Well, we're excited to be on with you, Cody. Thanks for having us. Today, we're going to jump in and talk about, and I know Cody's going to be, he's going to try to maintain connectivity, but we're going to jump in and talk about 4 critical mistakes that kill your insurance sales over the phone. Before I do that, I'd like to ask another question. Okay, I'd like to ask another question. How many of you, and you can go ahead and put the little hand emoji in the chat. How many of you are attempting to learn to sell over the phone, to become effective on helping life insurance clients, your prospects over the phone with life insurance sales? Go ahead and throw hands up in the chat.
As if you don't care.
Just throw it up. I want to know how many people are actually actively working this. You're trying it. You're trying to make it happen. Perfect. I see those hands. I feel like a preacher in church. I see those hands.
That's right.
I see those hands. I see that hand.
Yeah.
Fantastic. How many of you would like to know what the biggest mistakes are that most people are making that the top 1% of closers don't tell you? How many people would like to know that? Give me a thumbs up or a yes. Yes, I want to know. That's what we're getting ready to hit today. We're getting ready to hit that. The 4 biggest, the biggest critical mistakes that people are making.
Yeah.
Chris, we've been doing these. We've been doing life insurance training now for, I feel like for years.
It's been a minute.
Right? I feel like for years. And we've helped thousands of people all over the country, all over the world, really, the people that tune in with life insurance sales, with concepts, principle-based selling. Life insurance selling over the phone is a little different.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a little different. Yeah. And what do you think are some of the preconceived ideas that people have about, before we jump into our content, what do you think some of the preconceived ideas that people have about selling life insurance over the phone before they even start? What are some of those preconceptions?
I think part of it is how it's marketed to them. That it's going to be simple. Well, no, we'll say it this way. It's going to be easy.
Yeah.
That they're going to get somebody on the phone. And if somebody answers, they're going to buy, because what they're hearing many times is a lot of numbers. And if those numbers are being produced just by calling people over the phone, then
obviously
I can do that. It shouldn't be super ridiculously hard.
It shouldn't be that hard, right?
Right.
Some people have gotten into the business, attracted to the model because of telesales, right? And if you're one of those people, I got into the business because I realized you could actually do this from home, from a home office. If that was you, put in the chat, that's me. That's why you got in the business, because you wanted to sell from home. You're not just trying it, but that's actually why you got in. And you can type in, that's me. That's me. You can put in me. Fantastic. I see all those. Matt Brown,
And
I got you.
Dwayne had a good one. Dwayne brought up a good point, that I'm a good talker.
Yeah.
So this should be easy for me.
Yeah. Michael, I see it. I see it in there, man. Thanks for sharing that. So if that's you and you got into the business because you thought this would be a great way to make money and it should be easy, those are probably some preconceived ideas that once you get started, you kind of get slammed directly in the face,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Boom, with a lot of things that's happening. You're like, hold on a minute. This is not exactly what I thought it was.
Yeah.
What just happened? Have you ever fallen down in the winter on ice, like walking? Has
Yes.
anybody ever fallen on ice?
Yep.
You can put down ice if you've ever fallen on ice.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember going to church one Sunday morning. All my kids were in the car. My wife was in the car. I'm walking out to the get in the car, and just as I go to grab the door handle to get in, I completely disappeared. Well, I completely disappeared because my feet came right out from under me, and I'm laying on the ground, and I'm like, and I'm
Takes your breath
breathing
away.
because it
Yeah.
took my breath away. Sometimes when people get into this business and they get in their first day of trying to sell life insurance over the phone, that's what it feels like.
Right.
It feels like you just got the wind knocked out of you, and this is not what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, there's good news. I've felt that experience too, both in sales and physically on icy sidewalks, right?
We didn't talk about that opener, by the way.
No, we didn't. But the good news that we have for you guys is that it shouldn't feel impossible.
No.
Like if you're feeling that today, it shouldn't feel impossible. And we're here to tell you that while it may not be easy, it should be simple.
Yeah.
You should have simple processes and tools in place for you to be able to be successful. And then as you grow, guess what? It does get easier. It does. You start to get sales you didn't realize you were getting. You start to connect with people in a different way.
That's right.
You're keeping people on the phone longer. All of those things will start to happen if you can stay in it. That's for sure.
So let's talk about these 4 critical mistakes, man, that are
Okay.
killing most people's insurance sales over the phone. We're going to run through these, and I want to give you something up front. So at the end of this webinar here today, we got about an hour dedicated for you, but at the end of this webinar today, we're going to give you a call control sheet. One of the things that people need the most in life insurance sales is, what do I do to maintain control during the call? Right? And we call it call control, maintaining your posture, keeping yourself in a position of authority and education so that you don't lose control of the sale. I mean, it's a huge problem for a lot of agents. We have formulated all of the best call control techniques. We've got that in a document. We're going to be giving that to you. All the people that stay on to the end, we're going to be giving you a PDF of that for free. So make sure you stay on. And also, at the end of this, right up front, we're going to let you know that next Thursday and Friday, what are the dates? 7th and 8th?
Yes, the 7th and 8th.
The 7th and 8th, the next Thursday and Friday, the 7th and 8th, we are doing a 2-day virtual telesales
workshop training,
training
live.
For 2 full days, where we train, you dial, we coach, and you close. We're doing it for 2 full days. We're getting in the trenches. We're getting in Zoom
12
rooms.
hours a day. We're out of our minds.
Yeah,
What
we
are
are out of
thinking?
our minds. I don't know why we committed to 2 days, but it's going to be for 2 days. And we're going to give you an opportunity to join that today. So right up front, we want to be clear and set expectations. We know you're here. We're going to give you great value today. We're going to hit these 4 biggest areas that people make mistakes on when they come into the business. We're going to give you that call control sheet at the end, which is going to be a huge blessing to you. I wish I had that when we first started. And we're also going to give you an opportunity to join us on the telesales workshop next Thursday and Friday. Chris, why don't we hit this first one?
Yeah,
which I think is probably the big one.
And this is a life one, man. Unclear expectations. I mean, this is why marriages fail. Right?
Yes.
You have unclear expectations of the other person. Getting into a job or a new business or a partnership, unclear expectations. And your expectations, you might have pie in the sky expectations. Some people may not enter because they have unrealistic expectations the other way. So these are some things, first of all, that we want to cover with you guys. The very first one about these expectations, the work that is required to go through the learning curve. There's this level of work that's demanded. To get up the wall, to move through a learning curve. You remember that show, American Gladiator? Was American Gladiator? It's the Ninja Warrior show. That's what it is.
American Ninja Warrior.
American Ninja Warrior.
The curved wall.
Was I on it 2 or 3 times? Yes. Yeah. The curved
as a
wall.
spectator.
That's not important. No. Yeah. So that curved wall where they're trying to get up it and make that jump and grab the edge of it.
Yeah.
First of all, guys, there is a learning curve. First of all, there is a learning curve.
Not only is the wall curved, there's a learning curve.
Yeah. There's work that is required, that's necessary to be able to move beyond that.
I will say this: a lot of people come in, and when we say that one of the biggest issues that most people have is unclear expectations, is that how much work is actually required to get through that learning curve. And I think a lot of you realize that when you hit the ground and the wind is taken out of you for the first time. And you're like, hold on a minute. I've been doing this now from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I don't have a sale yet.
I haven't even talked to somebody.
I'm trying to get somebody to answer the phone.
Yeah.
I got 2 people on. The one
Mhm.
person said they were going to call me back or had to go and ask me to call them right back in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And now I can't reach them. I wonder what happened. I hope their cat's okay. And now they're not answering the phone. And I'm so concerned. I'm thinking of sending someone over there because they're not answering the phone. And you're wondering what's going on. But so the amount of work that you got to put in to go through that learning curve is huge. And I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of work that goes into this. So like, guys, think about it. All of our life, we're programmed to go to school, get a good education and get a good job, right? We do that for how many years?
Our whole lives.
Right? Our whole lives.
Yeah.
13 years of elementary and then junior high and then high school education. And then we got to go off to get our degree because we need more training and education in a specialized area. And then once you get your degree, then you really need to specialize, right? And go for at least 2 more years, maybe 3 to get your master's so that you can come out and have a chance at a 6-figure career.
Yeah.
Right? 13 plus 4 plus 2.
That's
19 years
a whole bunch of time.
of investment. And some of us come into this and they think, man, I tried that telesales for 3 days. It's just not for me.
And really that 3 days is probably closer to like 14 hours. And this is,
It might not even be 14 hours.
It may
It's
not even be
14
that.
hours of
Felt
thinking
like it,
about things,
right?
shuffling papers, trying
Yeah.
to get your Google Sheets open,
Yeah.
but you're actually not doing the work.
and I think if we're honest with ourselves, and maybe you can put your hand up when you hear this, but when you're in work and you spent that much time in school being told to be prepared for a job where somebody's going to tell you to do something and you have to do it, in most cases, people are waiting to be told what to do.
Mhm.
And they don't approach this business like it's their business, like they're the owner. So
Yep.
they're looking for any reason not to pick up the phone. And in that moment when it's time to pick up the phone, it's the heaviest object in the world. Is that happening for you? Like, at least be honest. Let's tell the truth here.
So heavy.
Yeah. And
So heavy.
maybe you're waiting for somebody to stand behind you and tell you, hey, this is the work that has to be done.
Right.
But that's a shift in thinking that has to happen immediately in your expectations.
In the spring of the year, when you go to the lake for the first time, or you go to the ocean and the water's still a little chilly because it didn't really warm up and you didn't go far enough south because you're on the budget vacation experience, and you go to get in the ocean and the water's really cold, and like you got to immediately drop all the way into your neck in order to get that's like a shock value. Like you got to go all the way in.
Yeah.
You got to commit to it. And sometimes
Even if
we
you're
don't-
part-time,
yeah, you got to commit to the process.
like you're
and say,
full-time.
I got to go all the way in. So here's some things under that idea of an unclear expectation about the amount of work that's required to go through the learning curve is that number one, you can write these down, guys. Okay. Someone type them in the chat too, as we go through this. Number one, people are used to being told what to do. Put down number one, people are used to being told what to do. We have to flip to this thought process though. You're now a business owner. You're now a business owner and you have to start thinking differently. You're now a business owner. Second one, you got to practice your scripts. You got to practice your presentation. So number 2, practice your scripts, practice your presentation, practice your rebuttals, practice your call control statements.
And when we say practice, we're not talking about practicing on your clients or the people on the phone. We're talking about if you have a team, get in a huddle and practice together, doing it together. Raising objections, practice. I'm talking about sitting at home with your spouse, going over this with them so that they can hear and asking them their feedback. How do I sound? What does
or
it
a
look like?
coworker or a
Yeah.
peer, someone in your group, someone that you're set up with, like get some time carved out. What do I sound like?
Mhm.
What's wrong with what I'm saying? Why did this not work? Practice.
And when you start doing it that way, you start to take ownership of this.
Mhm.
And you're not thinking about the script when you're making the call. If you're thinking about the script, there's a whole bunch of stuff you're missing that we're going to get to in the rest of this. But if you're thinking about the script, that's a major issue, major problem. So you need to identify if that's happening right now.
Adam says, I practiced with my dog and he almost bought. Great.
That's awesome. I
That's
love
great.
that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Dwayne, role play. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay. And this last one here under the work that's required is people tend to work for profitability first and not for improvement. You tend to work for profitability first and not for improvement. So we need to flip that. You need to work first for improvement before profitability. So that's number 3. Okay. You need to work for improvement first before profitability. Because improvement will lead to profitability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
got to get the reps in.
And if you can move towards improvement, it removes the emotion from a lost sale or somebody hanging up.
Yeah.
That's it. It allows you to focus less on the obstacle and the direction that you and your career are moving towards.
Yeah, because the goal of you getting on the phone right now this morning is to learn some things that make you better this afternoon. So regardless of the outcome, you're getting better.
Yes.
And that's just day one. All right, number 2. What's this second piece under unclear expectations, Chris?
Giving yourself the grace that is required to get through the learning curve. And I think sometimes people get so frustrated they give up too soon. They give up right before the breakthrough. And you hear all the motivation. I know you guys listen to Tony Robbins YouTube. You're walking through fire, coals in your backyard. You're doing all the stuff. But sometimes the most important thing you can do is show up and continue to show up. You are one call away, one day away from having a breakthrough in your sales, because it takes time. It takes time to get to a level where you're actually connecting with people over the phone. It's different than face to face. Trust me, I've done it.
Yeah,
it's very different. So there's this process of learning and getting. Roger used in a training previously. He used the term attunement. Getting attunement with the clients that you have, and that idea is, using a tuning fork and finding the right tone.
Yeah, when you hit a tuning fork and it comes into harmony with the instrument that you're trying to tune it to, and the key is now in harmony with that, it's a nice, beautiful sound wave. But if they're out of tune, it's a vibrating wave. Have you ever rolled down one window in your car and it's like baffling in your ear and you got to hurry up and roll down another window? It's because things are out of sync. You need to get in sync with your clients. And so it takes time to do that. So under this idea of unclear expectations, right? This 4th one is give yourself the grace to get through the learning curve. Give yourself grace to get through the learning curve. You have to give yourself grace. Because if you don't, you will fire yourself.
Yeah, you'll burn out. You'll fire yourself. That's
you'll fire yourself. But you don't fire yourself in the way most people think. Like, yeah, you're fired. You're not doing this anymore. What you do is you make an excuse for why it's not working for you. And generally you will point to an external reason as to why it's not working. Yeah. And that is you firing yourself. But you're not pointing here, you're pointing out there as another reason. So you have to give yourself grace. And then the last piece under unclear expectations, Chris, and I think this is probably one of the biggest ones. This has to be one of the biggest ones for me, is people don't give themselves enough opportunities. Now, this may sound like we're saying the same thing, but in telesales, what do you need? Right? Throw in the chat what you need to be successful in telesales. What do you need? In numbers. Cody said numbers. Let's translate that. Where do those numbers come from? Brandon, yes, you said it. Leads. It comes from leads, activity, leads, consistency, leads. So if we were going to talk about the secret to having success in telesales, is you need to have a good lead source, a sufficient lead source to keep you going so you can get your reps in, so you're always contacting someone else who is a potential buyer or client. Now, there's going to be different qualities of leads. And at the telesales workshop, for those people that join us next week, we're actually going to do a pre-meeting for that workshop on Monday.
Right.
And all those people will be brought in. We're going to give you access to all the best leads for telesales. We're going to tell you where to get them, how to access them, make sure you got them yourselves all set up. And so there's going to be low intent leads to high intent leads. But regardless, you need to give yourself enough leads. A lot of people come into this, right? They got a high performance car. They want to make $100,000. And then they go, I think I'm just going to put $5 worth of gas in this to see how it goes first before I really invest and commit, because I want to see if this is going to get me, down the highway. But I'm only putting $5 worth of gas in because I don't want to overinvest, because that may be a mistake.
Yeah.
Chris, what happens when people do that?
You end up on the road. You're not getting the full experience that it was designed for, right?
No.
And that's the important part. Like you got to have opportunities, and some people, like Roger, here's a perfect example. They'll get 20 leads for the week. they'll call through those 20 leads. They can't get anybody on the phone. They talk to 2 or 3, they couldn't get anybody. And instead of those leads becoming the filler leads and adding more fresh leads into their inventory, so they're giving themselves more opportunities.
Yeah.
They'll define and decide the opportunity based on that limited experience. And that's not fair.
And
It's
they keep
not.
grinding on that first
Right.
little batch and they wear them to a pulp.
Yeah.
They wear them to a
Yeah.
pulp, and you got to give yourself opportunities. Half of that first batch, they might not even be home this week. You don't know what the reason is. You just got to give yourself enough opportunities. I see Brian Moore on here. Brian, right? What's the secret? You got to give yourself enough opportunities to win. And so we'll talk more about that, but and then you got to give yourself enough opportunities to call. So not only do you need the leads, but then you need to call your leads. Right. There's a guy that advertises on the internet right now, and his whole ad campaign is call your leads, call your leads. Some of you know who that guy is.
Yeah.
I will let you find him, but his entire ad campaign is you got leads, call your leads. What are you waiting for? Some people get their leads and then they treat them like fine china.
Oh yeah.
And what
is
do you
true.
say? What do you
Oh,
say about leads?
It's Tupperware.
It's Tupperware.
Yeah,
It's
you can't break
Chinette.
'em.
It's
Yeah.
the paper plates, everybody.
Yeah.
Call your leads. You can't break them, right?
Yeah.
Joe Escobar said it's Chase. Yeah,
And-
that's the
And
guy.
even if they say no, call them back in a month. You don't know why they said no.
Call them back in a week.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Give it another shot. It's not fine china. You
Yep.
can't break them. Give yourself the opportunities.
So there's the big one. That's the first one. The second one is they don't understand trust and how it's built. So this is the second biggest mistake we see people in telesales making that sabotages their success and ruins their opportunity. They don't understand trust and how it's built. Chris, let's dive into this for a little bit.
Yeah. First, I want to clarify this. You may have heard a statement that says people buy from you because they like you, or people will buy from you because confidence is king. And if you're confident, you'll get sales.
Or if you're enthusiastic.
Yeah, enthusiastic, or you're a great talker. All those reasons.
Good talkers are good salespeople.
You're gaining. That is how you gain trust. And if I can be likable enough, then they will trust me. And now, are those ingredients? Those are possible ingredients
100%. There's
to
truth
this.
to all those statements.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Some people call them sales myths, but in every myth, there's some truth. So there's truth to all these statements, but
yeah. So trust, there's a process to gaining trust. And it's these are key ingredients to this. First, with trust is built. Who can tell us? I know we have some listeners here. How is trust built?
if you're listeners to the podcast, there's two key components to establishing trust. What are those two? If you listen to our training, if you know the podcast, let's see somebody who's got it. Trust. How is trust established?
If you can remember this, it will change everything.
Two key components to establishing trust. I don't see them yet.
Love.
I don't see them. Personal interest, list, core.
Okay.
I still don't see them. No, I'm looking for them. Competence. Yeah, people are trying. Amanda Matthews, thanks for that.
They're working hard, man.
Yeah. Questions, building rapport.
Yeah.
These lead to the
Correct.
two things.
Mm-hmm.
So what you guys are putting in there lead to these two things. Anyone else want to give a try? Satisfaction, listening more than you speak. Listen.
Love. How can you argue with love? Like love.
I see one. Allison Jackson. Boom. Ding, 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 ding. Let's set up something. We got to give Allison Jackson a bonus. Can you write down, can you put down Allison Jackson's name?
Yeah, we'll get you something.
Adam, Allison Jackson. Allison Jackson said empathy. Empathy is one of the primary key components of establishing trust. Empathy. Now, before I dive into empathy, who's got the second one? Empathy is one, and the second one is? Who's got it? Tonality. I see being real, authenticity, emotion.
Somebody got it. Somebody got it.
I see it. Amanda Matthews.
Amanda.
Boom.
Nice.
Allison Jackson. Did you text Amanda Matthews and tell her what the second one was? Be honest. Be honest. Amanda, you probably texted Allison.
You texted
She did it. She said she did it. She did it. Authority. The two things, the key components of establishing trust, everybody, is authority and empathy. Empathy and authority. Empathy and authority. If you can go with those two things, you will establish trust with people. Chris, let's break that down for a minute.
So authority, on this authority piece, it is good to be able to provide something that shows who you are and your authenticity of who you are and your credibility, right? So being able to connect them to your license, being able to give them your license number. Some folks text it, being able to give them a virtual business card. That's another
a digital
piece that
business card over the phone is a great way to establish trust.
Yeah. Also being able to show them some carriers, the relationships that you have with carriers that they may be familiar with. They may see some of the carriers like Gerber Mutual of Omaha, American Amicable, things like that, where they see, oh, okay, I know that company. It's here in my town.
Your level of competency and education.
Correct.
Right.
As you move through the process.
As you move through it speaks to your authority. So your competence. So one of the words you guys put in there was Tom put in competence is one of the key ingredients. And yes, it is. But competence is what gives you authority, and it's authority that really establishes trust with people, right?
Yeah.
So your competence, your education, how well you know your products, your comfort with speaking about these things and being directive in your conversation,
understanding the needs of your clients,
understanding their needs. But that's actually established through empathy, right?
Yes.
And how is empathy established? If we had to break down empathy, the second component, how is empathy established, guys? I saw someone put it in there. There was a bunch of people that added it. What's the primary way to establish empathy? It's not sympathy, but it's empathy. Yes, Nicole, it's listening. But before we listen, we're generally doing what? We are responding. Yes. We're asking. Yes, Nicole. We're asking good questions.
Right.
We're asking good questions. These are thought-provoking questions.
And I'm going to give you two things here that will be helpful for you on the front side of your calls. Number one, on the authority side, I hear so many questions about tonality. Am I supposed to be super energetic? Hey, Mrs. Jones, guess what? Or I sound like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Or, do I sound super flat? I worry less about the tone as I do providing direction. So I'm verifying some information on the call, like, hey, Roger, it looks like you live at 123 Snow Road. Is that correct?
Yes.
I have your birthday is 4/24/74. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to need you to go ahead and grab a pen and paper, and I'm going to get you some information that's important. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Like the thing I'm doing is I'm confirming some information on this very front side, but I'm being directive. I'm not asking for permission. I'm being polite. I'm being respectful. But if you are direct, it gives you a chance to borrow some authority that you maybe didn't feel like you had before. And for you people who are people pleasers, that's going to be a challenge. I'm telling you as a person who is that person. Okay. I get it. That took me a while, but it created so much credibility. And it also revealed a couple of things. If they can't grab a pen and paper, they typically aren't home. They're at work. They're driving the car. Okay. Then I might have to reschedule this call. Okay. So being directive. The other piece to this, did you want to jump in there?
No. Well, the thing that I like about Chris, the way he opens his calls on telesales, is it's just that, like, we're confirming information, right? Hi, is this Mr. Chris?
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. My name is Roger Short. I'm calling with Senior Benefit Services. I'm following up about your request on the final expense burial plans in Kentucky that you'd request some information on just a day or so ago, or last week, or on that form you filled out online.
Right.
Now, before I start, I just want to confirm the information that was given to me so that I make sure I have everything correct for your records. Okay. So I have your full name listed as this, and you're at this address. Is that correct?
Right.
So I'm taking control. I'm announcing who I am, why I'm calling right away. I get those questions out of the way because that's what people have screaming through their head. Who is this? Why are they calling? And then I'm trying to bring some recognition back to the call.
Right.
I'm taking control. I'm being directive. That's the authority piece. Right. And I'm starting to connect. I'm starting to build trust because now they realize I have information. If it's a mortgage protection call, I'm confirming their mortgage. We have your mortgage listed with Wells Fargo, and it was for this amount. And I believe it closed around this time. And now, are you actually in the home right now? Or was that a refinance or a new home purchase? Oh, there was a refinance. Okay, so you've been in the home for a little while. No, it was a new home purchase. Well, congratulations on your new home. I'm excited to be able to help you with this next piece. You see, we're validating the information. We're confirming some things. But the next part for what Chris just did is he said, great, I'm going to go ahead and I've got some information prepared for you, and I've got some other things I'm going to pull together. While I'm doing that, can you go ahead and grab a pen and piece of paper? Because I'm going to give you some important information. I'll wait while you do that. Because that's very directive. It's very directive. Another thing, it's a great way, and we'll teach this in the actual sales training next week, is to create a digital business card for yourself. One of the things we learned over COVID and during COVID was that everybody lost the ability to work with this and face-to-face. Well, most people did. And so one of the great ways we're able to establish credibility immediately is when you're done verifying that information, we say, now that I have your information, I'm going to go ahead and text you my information at this number. I'm assuming that's your cell phone, right? Yes. I'm going to go ahead and text that information to you. It should be my credentials, my digital business card. And let me know when you get that. And you're just going to text it to their number and you'll hear it on the other end of the line. You can even hear it like arrive, right?
Yeah.
You hear that little sound and you say, great, just go ahead and open that up. You see that good looking guy there right in the middle? That's me. This is why I do what I do. All my contact information is there. And that way, if we get disconnected, you have my contact so you can reach back out. Okay. I just wanted you to know who I am because you never know who you're talking to on the phone. Okay. We will show you how to do some of those things.
Yeah.
And get ready for the telesales training if you're joining us.
I do want to give you a piece for the empathy side at beginning that conversation. One big piece that I love to see agents develop it, is their own belief statement, where I can say, Roger, before we go into this, I want you to know that I love what I do. I've done this for 10 years and I've served thousands of families. And in that time period, I did not expect this, but it happens. I've had 48 death claims, and I've seen those families receive funds that in some cases they didn't expect. They didn't know mom had, they didn't know dad had.
Yeah.
And I got those calls from funeral homes. I got those calls from daughters, sons, spouses. And it gives me meaning and purpose. So I want you to know, whatever we do here today, I want to make sure that your family is taken care of the very same way. So I love working with families just like yours.
Now, Chris, they haven't been in the business 10 years and they don't have all those clients. Some of them are brand new.
Right.
What words can they use?
Yeah. If you're with an organization, borrow that information from your organization. Most people are, right? So if your group is serving families, and if it's not, then use the carriers. Like the companies I work, like we've helped millions of people. We've helped millions. And you can share some stories that you've heard from clients. I'll tell you what, I've sat in these homes, or I've been on calls with clients all over the country. And I cannot tell you how devastating it is when there isn't something in place to take care of final expenses, when there is something isn't in place to take care of the house so that the family can stay in it. I've heard countless stories, and I've made it my mission to make sure that doesn't happen to somebody that I'm on the phone with. Like I care about my clients, and I want to make sure you're taken care of.
That's right.
So you become a human being. That's really what happens when you share your belief statement. That first step of authenticity is you're coming out from the desk, and you become a human being.
All right. I want you to write down some things as we go here, and someone can type these in the chat just to summarize what we talked about. Okay. So we're talking about this idea that people don't understand trust and how it's built. Okay, Zach or Adam, can you throw that back up there just for a second? So the second big mistake is that people don't understand trust and how it's built. All right. I want you to jot down, and someone can throw this in the chat. People buy because they trust. People buy because they trust, not just because you're likable, right? You heard to know, like, and trust me. That trust component is the most important there. Worry less about tone and focus more on being directive. Okay, write that one down. Worry less about tone and more about being directive. Being directive is giving cues of what they should do, who you are, what they can expect. You're setting the expectation. So worry less about your tone and more on being directive. Worry less about being relatable and focus on being empathetic. Worry less about being relatable and focus on being empathetic. We see sometimes when clients are opening up and they're telling you about something, like you want to jump in and start talking.
I have a mother too.
I have a mother too, or my mom, that happened to my mom, and you want to take over the story, and you're telling them the story when they were actually just starting to open up. And you were more concerned about trying to get something that related to them than actually hearing them and being empathetic, right? Trust and empathy. Those are the authority and empathy are the two keys for that. And then the last one here that I'd like you to write down under this is that too friendly, too soon sounds inauthentic. Too friendly, too soon sounds inauthentic. Write that down. Too friendly, too soon sounds inauthentic. It sounds spammy, and it sounds like you have an ulterior motive. Or worse, Chris, what happens if you're too friendly too soon?
You get stuck in the friend zone.
You get stuck in the friend zone.
You lost your
Nobody
authority.
likes the friend zone, especially when you're dating. You don't want to get stuck in the friend zone. And the other bad part of getting stuck in the friend zone is when you're on that sales call, because it's hard to be an authority when you're stuck in the friend zone. All right, let's go to this next one. What's the third biggest mistake?
They don't know what is at stake. Agents just simply do not know or understand.
They don't
The
understand the stakes.
Yeah.
When we say the stakes, guys, what do you think we're talking about when we say the stakes when it comes to conversations with your clients? Can someone give us an answer on that? What do you think the stakes are? Go ahead and type it in the chat.
Medium rare, please.
Yeah, Cody says medium rare.
Of course.
The family passing without life insurance, how their family will be affected. Yeah.
Mhm.
Family saved versus struggling, their needs, their family being unprotected, loss of trust. What else? Life and death. Yeah, life and death, Tony G. What else? What are some of the stakes? Give me some example of what stakes can be for a client. Losing the house. That's right. Adam, great answer. Great answer. Losing the house. Target. I'm not sure what that means. Financial burdens. GoFundMe's. Yeah.
Yeah.
GoFundMe's. Kids having a what was that one? Kids having to pay. Yeah, kids having to pay. Beneficiaries not protected. Passing debt to family members. So here's one of the keys that I'm going to give you when it comes to the stakes. Okay? When it comes to stakes, always know this. The stakes are always most powerful when those people have a name. The stakes are most powerful when those people have a name and you know their name. Because the stakes are not tied to a house. The stakes are tied to the people that are going to be living in the house or can no longer live in the house without you. Okay? So the stakes are most powerful when those people have a name and you know the name. It's never about the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries is a term for people. But those people have what, Chris?
They have needs.
They have names.
Yes,
they have names.
Yeah.
And those names mean something to
Right.
your client. So get to know their names and speak to the stakes as it relates to the people that they care about the most.
Right.
Stop saying your family. Stop saying your loved ones. Stop saying your beneficiaries. Get to know the person that matters the most to them. Get to know and ask them who is going to be affected. What is their name? Why is that important to you? Those people have names. Get to know their names. The stakes are about the relationships with the people they care about the most, not about the house, not about the debt at the funeral home. It's about the people who are going to be impacted. And always remember that.
Do you guys remember that piece of paper that they got for you, that pen and paper? They wrote the important information. It's important to have them write down the name. Once you know the name or the names of the people who are affected the most, have them jot that down in the upper right-hand corner, because when you're talking and we're going through the stuff that is the boring stuff, the numbers, all this stuff, they are seeing who matters most throughout that entire process.
That's powerful, Chris.
Yeah.
I've seen you do this, and I've seen Chris teach agents this, and he'll go by and in our session that we're doing next Thursday and Friday, like we'll be in the Zoom room with you. And if once you got them on so we can hear, we're going to ask you, because they're going to say, now this is for your daughter, right? And we're going to say, what's her name? Right. And you're going to go, oh, I didn't write it down. I don't have it written down.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. What's her name?
Yeah.
Why do you not have their name written down? And why haven't you asked your client to write down that person's name on their paper? Ask them, say, let's go ahead and write Kim's name in the top of that sheet, because I want you to know that who we're working for here today. Okay. Because I've got her name written down here already in my notes, and I know who my job is to protect, and it's to protect Kim.
We're going to fly through this part, but I will tell you this, as far as getting to know the stakes, when you are in sales, it is a numbers game. That is true, but it is a meeting the needs of the people game. Like that is your specialty, is to meet their needs. And the only way to meet their needs is to ask very good questions about I mean, that need needs to become three-dimensional. Right now it's one-dimensional. They hit an emotional nerve when they send this in, and sometimes they don't have the language for it.
Mhm.
Our job is to help them be able to speak it and to say, and at this point, once they speak it, we're looking at the need and they're trying to figure out if they can solve it or not.
Yeah.
How can we solve it? So need based questions is important to get to the stakes, and we'll go through the details of that in the training.
Yeah. So as we recap the first three biggest mistakes, number one is people have unclear expectations. Unclear expectations, right? They don't understand the work. They don't give themselves enough grace, and they certainly don't give themselves enough opportunities to talk to people. That secondly, they have a poor understanding of how trust is built. And I want to reaffirm that trust is built by establishing empathy and authority and communicating that and pulling that out. Thirdly, the third biggest mistake most people make in telesales is they don't know what's at stake or how to raise the stakes. And it's always tied to a person's name. It's always tied to this emotion called love. People have 3 levels of need. You can jot this down in your own notes. There's an external need, there's an internal need, and there's a philosophical need. There's an external need. I need gas in my car because I'm almost empty. There's an internal need. My wife's about to go in labor. She told me she's starting contractions, and I realized my car is empty.
That's a big one.
That's an internal need. Everything just shifted about the priority of why you need gas. Do you see the difference? The third one is a philosophical need. I'm a terrible husband. I don't have gas in my car for my wife and my new baby. Right. So but people take action, guys, on the internal need. And internal need is always tied to an emotion. It's the feels. And if you're transactional in your communication only, and you don't ever go that next level underneath, Chris calls it emotional excavation. We're going to get into that next week when we do the training of how to emotionally excavate that need and let it rise to the surface like an archaeologist with a brush, uncovering this thing that's been covered up under here, this hurt that they have, this gap that they have. And now we're going to emotionally uncover that for them. It's going to expose the thing that they need. And when you can get your clients to say the thing that they need with their mouth, not with your mouth, with their mouth, because good questions, they will start to reveal, they will start to speak the thing they need. When your client speaks a need, Chris, this is my favorite line from you.
A verbalized need becomes a want.
A verbalized need becomes a want.
Yeah.
And it has to be verbalized by
them,
by the
them.
client.
Yeah.
When a client verbalizes the thing that they need themselves, they hear themselves, and then it becomes something that they want. So get them to say the thing that they need. Ask enough questions so they begin telling you what they need. And then you become this advisor who is simply helping them get the thing they need rather than a salesperson trying to sell them something that they don't know whether they need or not.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I hope is this valuable? Throw 100 in the chat if you're finding this valuable, right? 100. Throw 100 in the chat if you're finding this valuable. All right, let's get into this last one,
Last
Chris.
one. All right, here we go. They do not close with purpose. They don't close with purpose. I see this so many times with agents when they're on the phone. They've gotten through the process. Heck, they've even gotten them to say the need. I want this.
Yeah.
And they fumble at the end because they didn't they didn't expect to get this far.
They weren't ready for the kiss at the end of the date. They were like, what? I'm dating, and I walked to the door.
Yeah.
They're ready to kiss,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do now. And I walk away awkwardly because I've never been here before.
If it's like that, even if you're moving forward uncertain, that uncertainty can transfer. If you don't know a process, if you aren't committed to a closing process, you start to lose your trust that we've tried to maintain throughout this entire process, your credibility throughout this entire process. And now you're basically kind of appear incompetent.
Yeah. You like, I really like this person. I want it, but now they're like fumbling around like they don't know what to do. So they don't close with purpose. Donald Miller, in his book called Building a Story Brand, and he's got another book, New York Best Time Selling Book, Building a Story Brand. And in his next book called Business Made Simple, he says, we have to give our clients an easy off-ramp to make a decision on how to move forward with you. And his closing line is this, his big line throughout the entire marketing strategy is this: if you confuse, you lose. Write that down. Throw it in the chat. If you confuse, you lose. If you confuse, you lose. And so lots of times we start to lose focus at the end. Can you throw that in the chat? If you confuse, you lose. Lots of times at the end, when we're trying to close, we shift out of empathy and we go right back to transaction.
Yeah.
And we start talking about premiums and face amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Bing, bing. So for 200,000, this is only $89. For 250,000, it's 102. And for 300,000, it's 106.
Yeah.
It's very transactional.
And it feels
shifts.
awkward.
And it does feel awkward. Here's a way that you can close with purpose. I know that protecting your family, Mr. Smith, is important to you. But what I heard you say was that you have a vision in your mind for Jimmy's potential with baseball. You know he's got a gift, and you know you're invested in this gift with him. And you know if something were to happen to you, that might be in jeopardy for you and your wife to watch him realize that gift. And so I want to let you know that this benefit that we're going to put in place protects you if you should lose the ability to produce an income for him. But if something tragically were to happen to you and you were to lose your life, it keeps you and him in this home, and your lovely wife, whatever the wife's name is. We're going to use her name, Patricia, in your home so that they can live the life that you've always dreamed. And so that $200,000 to protect all of that is only $89 a month that you're setting aside for, what was his name, Jimmy?
Jimmy, yeah.
And Patricia.
And he wrote it down.
Yeah,
he wrote
it down. For
Yeah.
Jimmy and Patricia, you're just really setting aside $89 a month for them to protect this.
And really, that's such an important way of communicating that process. And we don't have time for this now, but we will in that training. Is there are some other pieces even before you get there of finding out, like a simple trial close, to see where they're standing if we're on the same page.
Correct.
And to also start communicating the simple next step.
Correct.
To this.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people get blown out, like, man, we've been on the phone for a few minutes. I don't know how much longer this is going to take. They have all these things they aren't saying or communicating. We have a job to be a guide to them to help them solve their problem.
Chris, why don't we run through these steps here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 steps under they do not close with purpose. We're going to go ahead and give you those now so you can write them down. If someone wants to put them in the chat, that would be great.
Maintaining trust throughout the process.
Maintain trust throughout the process. Do not move away from that. Don't lose their trust.
Yep.
Number 2.
They need to understand the simplicity of the next step. They need to understand the simplicity of the next step. Number 3, they need to know their options. We need to give them clear, realistic options. Like Roger said, it's a simple exit off of the highway. One, not a bunch. Right?
Yeah. I mean, their options, they can, but those options are based on one solution.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Next one, they need to know the solution is connected to their need. That's what Roger articulated just a moment ago. It's connected to their need.
Connect the solution that you provide always back to the need. Don't jump out and become transactional.
Yeah.
And that need is a person, and that person has a name.
Right.
And that's what the stakes are.
And then lastly, they need to know if they qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not selling them something. We're going to find out if they qualify for this.
Too many people
Solution
say we're going to go ahead and get this set up. Or, they feel like they're selling them something. Is that the one you want? Right. Let's go ahead and see if we can get you qualified for this plan. And if so, this is how it's going to protect your family. Let's go ahead and move forward on that. And so you're being directive at the end. All right, guys. So we've got a few things to give you. Now, we promised you a call control sheet. 137 people were on. There's still 132 on.
All right. We did all right.
Boom. We got great retention. We've got a call control sheet coming for you. Before we go to the call control sheet, Adam, can we throw up the sponsored event here? Is it up on screen?
Oh, that could mean
Where are we going?
There we go.
All right. So we are doing a 2-day telesales training event next Thursday and Friday, the 7th and 8th of September. We're starting at about 8:30 in the morning, and we're rolling till 8:39 in the morning, I believe it is, till 8 at night. It's going to be 2 full days. We don't want you popping in and out. We want you to be active and engaged. Chris, if you, just slow down right there. But we're going to go through, and on those 2 days, we're going to give you some training like we're doing right now. Okay. Yeah. Next Thursday and Friday. That's correct. We're going to give you training, but we're going to break down some of these things. Here's some things that you're going to learn on that. You're going to learn the 5 fundamentals of a one-call close, a winning mindset formula that we have for you, call strategies of the top 8%. How do the top 8% actually dial? How are they calling? What's the process? What's the sequencing? Do I call through 50 leads? Am I calling them once in the morning, once in the afternoon? What's the best strategies that produce the highest results? There's a way to increase your results through specific call strategies.
You guys are correct. I see some conversation there. It is the following week, and one of the reasons we're doing it that way is we want to have a conversation with you for you to be able to have the best leads and get them in your hands.
I keep saying next Thursday.
Yeah. So
it's me, guys. I'm confusing you. Yeah. So next week we're doing a pre-meeting on Monday. The following week on the 7th and 8th, the 7th and 8th, Adam, thanks for clearing that up. Thanks for your grace and patience on that. We're doing so it's 2 weeks out essentially from today, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yesterday and today, 2 weeks from now. Yeah. The best carriers for telesales and whys. How many people want to know if you've got the best carriers in your lineup? And we don't care what IMO you're with. It does not matter, but we are going to give you some of the best carriers that are available to you. And maybe your group has those and you just don't have them in your portfolio. We're going to give you some top producing sales resources that you can get your hands on. We're going to teach underwriting and quoting, how to do that. Guys, we have the best top proven sales scripts in the industry by far.
Oh yeah.
We've come to find out that some organizations are out there with hundreds of agents. Actually, they took our sales script that we developed like 8 or 9 years ago, our entire presentation, and duplicated it. There's plagiarism going on there. And it was so funny because some of their agents came to us and I saw that I like word for word, like the sales script. So very successful. There's going to be interactive coaching. We're going to be in rooms with you, listening to calls, live calls. We're going to put you in rooms together and we're going to do coaching while you're on the calls. We'll help you with objections and rebuttals, call control statements, techniques and training. And then we're going to teach you how to keep closing simple. That's going to be a part of this.
And we might even have some special guests who come in and do some possible training with us who are top producers.
Yes. Do we have, is Jalen Talley on here today? Do I see Jalen? Jalen, if you're on, jump, say hello. Say hello if you're on today. I don't know if I see you on here or not.
No.
He is not, no.
Okay. He is not. Jalen is a top producing telesales agent. We've got some people that are absolutely phenomenal, rocking it out. And we're going to bring them in so you can hear from other people other than us on how they're doing this on a daily basis. So, and then here's a really cool features, Cody. 6 participants that are in this training with us next week are going to be selected to come to our studio offices right here in Louisville to get into a live in-person training experience and to be interviewed on the #1 rated life insurance podcast out there available. Now, boom, there. How about that? How about that, Cody? How about that? What value, Cody, what value would they get, Cody, from being on our podcast?
Dude, I can tell you they get a ton of recognition, ton of exposure, get a chance to give back and bring value, which is great. And you think about it, like it's hard to put a price tag on relationships when you start expanding your network because you never know where it's going to lead, how it's going to affect you or your business.
Yeah.
And then we just got stupid.
Yep, we got stupid. Can you guys see this on screen? We did get stupid on screen, and so you can see this. It says the offer also includes. Chris, why don't you go over this, man?
We have we are including our all access courses and coaching for 90 days. Complete access. We do live training every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time for about 45 minutes with a group of agents who have subscriptions to this.
And you're on screen with us. We can ask questions back and forth live.
Yeah.
We even stay on late sometimes and ask individual questions and coaching. But not only that, you get access to all of our courses that are online and all of our scripts, everything. It's there. And if you sign up today for this offer, you actually, before you go away from that, don't go away from that yet. Well, let's go back.
Okay.
Let's go back. And guys, normally our all access courses and coaching is $147 a month. per month for that. The whole program, including the 2-day telesales training, all the resources, the opportunity to come here to Louisville to train with us in a live session, and then 90 days of all the courses and coaching is only $297. And if you register today, you get immediate access. You'll get a welcome email, and you can jump in to get access to all the scripts starting today.
Right.
All of the courses that are on there that are uploaded today, you can get immediate access right away. So it's $297. That register now button right there will give you the link. Adam's going to go ahead and throw that in the chat. Can you throw that in the chat, Adam? The link to register now. We're going to throw that in the chat, but in the interim, we're also going to show you a little bit about what the back end of the Life Insurance Academy training portal looks like. Can we do that? How do we do that, Chris?
Yeah, he's gonna push some buttons. It's pretty cool.
Perfect. So also, we want to get you some questions. What questions do you have that you're wondering if we're going to answer in that? Anybody got a question we're going to answer in the session? Anybody? Go ahead and throw some questions in there. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, that's great. Adam, let's go ahead and show them the back end of the Life Insurance Academy and some of the courses and contents available. There's so much in here that's available to you. You can go through and select. This is one of my favorite courses right here. Of course, I did the course. It's one of my favorite, but it is one of our highest responses, which is the Principles of Influence in Selling. We hit 8 large principles of influence in selling. And we include all the PDFs, all the training materials. You could actually teach a series on this. If you're an agency owner, this right here will give you probably 8 weeks of training content for your people, or at least 8 sessions with all the notes. Everything in here, we've got all the scripts. If you want to come in and see all these amazing scripts that are available, these are top scripts, guys, that have been fine-tuned and crafted just for success. So face-to-face appointment setting scripts. We got FE telesales appointment setting scripts. We've got FE virtual sales scripts. We've got telesales rebuttals and objections, aged MP lead appointments. Some of you say, well, what about a script for an aged lead? That's different than a new one. We've got aged MP lead script. We've got internet MP sales script. And look down here, we've got the general life call sales script. We've got on-demand general transfer call transfer script. And of course, call control statements. So what we're going to give you today is our call control statements. All these other ones are fully developed scripts. That's all included into the program, and you get access to the full course for 90 days. If you want to stay after that, I think there's going to be a little bit of a special offer and maybe a reduction from our regular $147 per month, but we'll talk about that at the end of your 90 days. All right, questions about this event. Is there a promo code we should use for this? Actually, if you click the link, you'll go right in. We've already got the price reduced specifically for this webinar. Just click the link to register, and I think it should take you right in. All right. Who else? Thank you. Adam Reynolds said who's registered.
Yeah.
Who's already registered? Anybody registered already? If you registered, put in there, me, throw it in if you're already in the program. Yeah, you're already registered and good to go. We will, when we decided that we were going to do this for 2 days, we realized we were going to 8 o'clock on a Friday night.
Right.
And I said, Chris, this is on a Friday night. And he said, oh yeah, it is. And we realized we're going to 8 on Friday night. But guys, you know what? People who are committed to success, it don't matter what night it is. So we're gonna hang with you till 8 o'clock on Friday night on September the 8th until you got everything
I'm
you
sold
need.
on Friday night. Come on.
Yeah. We've done these before, guys. And while we're doing them, we're going to have a virtual leaderboard. And when you make a sale, it's going up on the virtual leaderboard. We're going to ring the bell and it's going to be a tally. And we're going to track the production that people are doing over the phone. And we're going to take a tally and we will put those results out. And so there's going to be a leaderboard for the 2 days. We're going to get you in rooms together, working together. It's going to be a phenomenal opportunity because yeah, you're going to invest in some leads. Yes, we're going to do training, but we're going to do live coaching with you, tweak those things, and then give you the opportunity to close sales. And we're going to help you close those sales and bring it in. It's one of the only trainings that you'll attend unlike this one, where you're actually doing the work and making money during the training. At the end of the 2 days, you will make money. So this is a return on investment. Some of you are now thinking, just like when it comes to leads, oh, I'm only going to invest a little bit and see how this $5 goes in my Lambo tank, see how far I get in that. Or you can invest now and jump in and make money on the other side of the training.
Yeah. And you know, the stakes, what's at stake here for you? $297, you know, that could be a premium that you write, a monthly premium that you write in
It
this.
could be a monthly.
It could
premium.
happen.
It's certainly not going to be an annual one. I don't think we have anything that low.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's less than a quarter of an application. And what you write 6, 8, 10 applications, you learn how, better yet, you learn how to write 6 to 8 to 10 applications. What would that do for you and your family? That's the question.
But they're not just learning how to write 6, 8, 10 applications. They're learning a process, a structured process that will help them every week for the rest of their lives. And you'll be able to teach that process to other people. It's a phenomenal opportunity. Cody, jump back in here. What questions you got for us, man?
Well, I looked at this and I'm like, dude, you guys are gonna be training for freaking 2 full days, and actually people making money during the training. I'm like, dude, why don't you guys let them move in with you? You know, I mean, geez.
Are we nuts? We're nuts, I think, a little bit.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I've known that for a while though. You guys that are just new to that, congratulations, welcome. These two are officially insane. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're an amazing insane. As long as you're insane with a big heart, then it works, right? It works.
Toby, great question. What CRM do you guys recommend for tracking leads? We're going to go over a lot of that on the pre-meeting next Monday. We're going to go through a Zoom. We're going to walk you through a training next Monday for about an hour or more. And we're going to break down all the best options for leads, CRM, lead management, call process, the type of headset you want to make sure you have, the type of adapters, how to connect to your monitors. Like we're going to break it all down, man. Like it's nuts and bolts. Like we're not just talking about pie in the sky philosophy here. We're going to break it down. What time on Monday are we doing that, Chris? Do we know?
It's noon.
It's noon?
Yeah, 12 to 1:30.
We're going to stop. We're actually traveling on Monday.
We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we're traveling on Monday to Greenville.
Cody's traveling
to do a training, and but it's at noon.
Yeah,
noon Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
noon Eastern on Monday. So it might interrupt your day, but we're gonna do that setup for you on Monday. Yeah. I'm getting a sale this weekend, so I can get signed up. Kobe, I would say you can get signed up regardless of whether you get a sale this weekend, because getting in and committing to something. Cody, what do you say? What do you say? Commit first, figure out the rest later. What does that do? And what has that done for your life?
I can tell you this, man. If it was like, you know, hey, I'm gonna hopefully join contingent on making a sale, then I'm like, I hope I make a sale, you know. But if I do it now and I'm like, oh crap, if I'm back against the wall, I got to get my $297 back, I'm probably gonna fight a little harder to get it back.
Yeah, that's right. Commit first, details delay, right?
That's
on Monday, for those people that are registered, you're going to be given an invite over the weekend via email for the Zoom link to join us on Monday. It'll be a special meeting for the attendees that are registered. Yeah, registration ends, I think, Sunday.
Actually, it'll probably end today because of the communication.
Because he's not going to be here. We're going to end registration today, because we got to get communications
12 o'clock.
out, and we're not going to ask our team to work with
right.
communications and emails all weekend. So we'll set that up before they go. Unless Cody makes calls from Cancun on the beach, it isn't real. Tony G says. I remember when you did that.
That's right.
All right.
We need to do it again, the three of us, you know.
Yeah.
Brian Moore, what question you got? What question you got for us? I know you got questions, my friend. Toby Hartman, I think I answered your question already. Let's see. Thank you, Adam, for registering. Appreciate that. Looking forward to helping you win, man, and making this the career of your life. Guys, it's changed my life. Adam said, do I get a set of Ginsu knives? That would seal the deal. No, we're not giving you knives. Something better than knives.
Yep.
You're going to spice up a deal now, though, you know.
Cody Broker said, I signed up for this. For the live coaching, telesales training is just another bonus. Killer opportunity. Fantastic. Thanks, Cody, man. Looking forward to it. And Cody, I think you were already on one of our live sessions with us as a result. So Martelli, is it Martelli? Adeka says, I want to be picked to come to Louisville. Fantastic. I want to be picked. Woohoo, that rocks. Who wants to come to Louisville? Who would like to come to Louisville and train with us live. So if you're a part of that training session, we're going to pick 6 people out. Now there's going to be some criteria. We're going to do a draw. We're going to, we'll have some criteria, but 6 people will be chosen to come here and do a live training with us where you're in the room with us. We're doing live coaching in-house. And guys, I tell you, when you get in proximity with people, that's where you really learn. Michael Hall. I see Michael Hall on the call. Michael Hall, what's going on, man? Michael, what value will these cats get from attending this event? Michael Hall is royalty, insurance royalty just showed up in the house. Michael Hall, where are you, man? Let's go. The deadline to register is today. Jason said, thanks. It was great information. Where do we go for the free PDF? We're going to actually deliver that free PDF in 2 minutes. Adam's getting it ready now. Oh, there it is. There's your free PDF, guys. Thanks for hanging on. Those are the free call control statements. We're going to go through these in detail, how to use them, how to maintain control. That's fantastic. Sonia Rodriguez, I can't wait for the boots and bourbon. She's coming to Louisville. Sonia Rodriguez, you were actually live for one of these events live in Louisville. Why don't you go and comment on what this did for you, being in this immersive experience similar to the virtual one that they're going to get? Can you throw that in there, what your thoughts are? Because I know Sonia was a part of that before.
Dan, if you are, Dan, I see your message there in regards to being a part of True Wealth. If you can make note, Adam, for Dan, we do have a promo code for you.
Dan Island. Yeah, Dan Island. Sonia said, great training on what the good, the bad side of telesales. Fantastic. It was fun watching her in the grind. Prepares you for the reality. I love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Hall, what did Mike say? Register now. Don't miss out. I'm getting a ton of value out of the webinar. Thanks, man. Thanks. We see these common mistakes over and over and over again. And so we have a principle-based selling philosophy here at the Life Insurance Academy. So yes, there's scripts. Yes, there's call control statements, but there are principles of influence in selling. There are principles of communication and human psychology. And once you understand what those principles are, you can adapt it to any script and adapt it to any selling experience because you truly understand what you're trying to accomplish with your client. Our goal in selling, this was my definition that I gave on a video that I did on Cody's stage 2 years ago at the 8% conference. I did a talk on the 5 fundamentals of a one-call close. It's available on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go there now, Life Insurance Academy YouTube. Adam, can you throw that in there? I think one of the first videos that you'll see on there is the 5 fundamentals of a one-call close. It's got over 10,000 views right now. But I said ethical selling is the willing and desired exchange of value that moves people to a better place. So it's our goal as sales professionals, especially in this industry that makes such an impact on people's lives, to actually take an action that can change the trajectory of their family's life and their loved ones, all the people after them. And our goal is to move them to a better place. That's the goal. And our goal is that. And so when we teach with those principles. Thank you for that, Brian. Appreciate that comment, man. Love that. Appreciate the stuff you're doing. I've been seeing some of the stuff you're doing on social media. Keep it up. I definitely needed this training today. Thank you, Lenora. Appreciate those words. Kobe Monahan, love the one you're with. Yes.
And I will say, guys, Cody, first, man, thank you so much for doing this with us. We'd love, of course, we love the relationship. You're a good friend, and you do incredible stuff in this industry. But I'm going to challenge you guys. Don't be the person who sits at the end of the table waiting for everybody to walk away from the table and picking up the free leftovers. Don't be that person. Like, just keep showing up to free webinar. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a catalyst to change your life forever. Yeah. That's the beauty of this. Cody's offered incredible experiences. People's lives have been changed. Do you know who Cody pulls on into his podcast and his interviews? The people who take action.
That's right.
Whose lives have been changed. Is that right, Cody?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, sir. Yeah. And it's fun to see,
Yeah.
It's fun to see.
This is the appetizer. We want to sit down and have a meal with you guys and do something special. So don't miss out.
Yeah. And guys, you can help us cross 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Yeah. We're getting close. I don't know how many we're at now, Adam. But we're getting close. It's gonna cross over here real soon. We're trying to catch you, Cody. Cody's got 100,000. If He just got his plaque from YouTube. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. You're almost there. You're almost there.
we're
Thanks, buddy.
we're at 9,600. But Cody, we Adam helped us build that audience with no advertising
Awesome.
in 18 months.
Crazy.
And I remember you saying the
Crazy.
first year you had how many subscribers?
351.
Yeah, 351.
I
Adam's
wasn't
helped us.
counting. I wasn't counting.
Adam's helped us get to nearly 10,000 here in 18 months. So it's growing real well. And we'd love your support. And there's a ton of value on there as well. So
Good job, Joe. I see that you signed up. Excellent.
thank you so much. Any other questions we can answer for anyone on this event? We'll go ahead and wrap because I know Cody's got places to be in the van or maybe at a pit stop. And so do we. We've got some other things coming up, but we'll get you the links for everything. If you've already signed up, you should have gotten an email to give you access to the complete course library and all of the scripts. So you should have access to that immediately. And then we'll send you the invite for the prep meeting on Monday. That'll be a training in and of itself. And then we'll be ready for you the following 7th and 8th on the Thursday and Friday of the 7th and 8th of September to do that event with you. Thank you guys so much for being on. Go to Buc-ee's, Adam said. Yeah, go to Buc-ee's. That's always a good stop.
Let's go. Let's go.
Golden
That's
info.
right.
All right. So I want one person. So what's happening right now is some of the attendees are falling off. So we're gonna do something else special for the people.
Okay.
Hang on, because there's value if you stay. All right. I want one person to summarize. The first person to summarize all 4 of the most critical mistakes that most people make in telesales. I want us to write down their name. Actually, we'll do it for the first one. Let's do that. First person to summarize the 4 biggest mistakes that agents make in telesales. You have to summarize it accurately, of course. There's 4 big principles. The first person, we got a special treat for you. Got to get them in order, in sequence. Let's start from the top. See, are people getting these? Come on, Lupito. I need all 4. Get them all 4 in there. Need all 4. What are they? Who can deliver all 4? Come on. Unclear expectations. What did Tony G say? Let's pause.
Boom.
Tony G. Tony G in the house. Tony G, you get a free invite, my friend, to Louisville, Kentucky, to be on the Life Insurance Academy podcast and to attend that training in-house. When we're doing it, you get an automatic invite to be here and to get an interview on that podcast. We want to help blow up your business. Thank you for staying on, man. And thank you for listening. Laura said, crap, I can't type fast enough. Tony G. Awesome, man. Thank you, brother. We want to help you win in business. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for taking notes. People who pay attention. People who pay typically pay attention. So you've had to give up some of your time today. And I know for those of you who are going to be joining us on this thing, you're paying. And we hopefully that will help you pay attention. Guys, thank you so much. Cody, back over to you.
Boom. Thank you guys.
We're good here. Thank you guys so much.
Phenomenal webinar, incredible content. I appreciate you being here. Thank you all for joining from all over the world. Let's give it up for Life Insurance Academy, Roger and Chris, one more time in the chat as we exit today. Happy Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Hope to see you on the Telesales Training Bootcamp this next Thursday and Friday.
7th and 8th.
Gentlemen, 7th and 8th, which actually isn't next weekend.
Correct.
Which is even better. Even better. That's good. You got time. That's great. Okay. Dude, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for doing this and appreciate you taking the time as well. Okay.
All right. See you guys. Have a great weekend. Be blessed and go
Take
be
care.
a difference maker.
Let's go.
You're called to do that. Go change someone's life.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Yeah, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.